It has been my practice in the summer, because it's hot. I work early in the mornings, production. I take the afternoons off, or that's when my deliveries go out, because I got air conditioning in the truck. And then later in the evenings, like right now, I will come out and stack, or I will load the table right here, get ready for tomorrow's production. And I try my best to stay on that. But you know, sometimes deliveries just get in the way. Sometimes life just gets in the way. And I just can't get the wood produced that I want to. When I come out here in the evening and do my task, it's quieter. I've had the day behind me and the rusty gears start spinning in my head. And I start turning my attention to down the road. And down the road around here in Ohio is called winter. And winter brings new challenges, certainly snow removal, you know, and I have an answer to that, and you will see it when that day comes. Hopefully we don't have to worry about it and we have a winter like we did last year. I have a snowblower at home, never even started it up the entire year. But winter brings not just snow, but it brings shorter days and, you know, those temperature changes and working in the dark. And it was the other evening, I stayed out here a little bit later than I normally do, and I went into the container. I couldn't see because it was so dark. So it just made me realize I got to start addressing these problems before we get to these shorter days. And we're going to work on some lighting for the container. I've come up with a brilliant idea, but I also have a new product that was given to me. It's one of these power stations, but this one's a little different. And I think it's going to play a much better role for me here because of its size and its capacity. A lot of you guys and gals had pointed out when my struggles through the summer with the heat about putting up an industrial fan when I'm stacking, you know, to keep that air moving on me. I think this is also the answer to that as well. And then when the day comes when I put a carport over top of the Yappa, you know, in the wintertime, it gets late early around here. And it gets late early around here. And it gets dark. And if I have that carport over here, that's just more darkness. And I think that power station can play the same role in powering lights that I can hang up, you know, on this carport. I need to prioritize that carport and get that done. But I have an idea for lighting, and I'm going to share it with you. And the power station, I think you're going to really like this too. What I need to do, I'm going to get the tractor out of the container, and we're going to work on this lighting problem and talk about the other problems that I'm having with this container going into the winter. All right, here we go. Here is the container, guys. Come on in. I need to do a video just on the container, but it's dark in here, and it's not even dark. It's getting dark, but it's not dark yet, and it's dark in here. I would like to have lights. The other thing is ventilation. So in here, it's got these air vents, but they're not real big, and they make these with those, you can cut them in. What I had learned is I turned the fan on in here, and it just blows out and sucks it right back in because there's no ventilation. So I think that's going to be a problem come winter, because you know how like the inside of your car windshield's all got condensation and everything on it, and that's what's waiting for me this winter with the colder temperatures outside. And I think I need to keep that fan blowing in here, so I need a power source. We don't have electricity here on site. For the power station, guys, I wanted to get a bigger one, something that's got more capacity. Well, Vtoman has it, and they sent this to me to review. This is the Vtoman Jump 1000. So this is a 1000 watt inverter, output inverter, and it has 3 AC outputs. It also has those USB-Cs for your cell phones, your smaller devices, and these USB chargers as well. And it's got a cigarette adapter for DC output, or if you want to charge with your own vehicle when you're driving down the road, it can do it. The two things about these power stations, guys, and there's a bunch of them out there, the two things that I really think are the important things is the chemistry of the battery and the inverter. The Vtoman has the top of the line battery. It's got the lithium iron phosphate battery, and those are the ones to get. They have over 3,000 full cycles of discharge and charge. They are a lot safer than all of the other like lithium cobalt type batteries. These are the ones that don't catch on fire because I worry about leaving it in here with the doors closed. And the other thing is the inverters. So this has the pure sine wave inverter, which really doesn't mean much if you're just running lights or a fan with it. But if you're running your sensitive electronics, or even like your refrigerator, you know, it could, the pure sine wave inverter is what has got the cleanest electricity, and it will protect your devices more than the modified sine wave. So these other inverters are out there cheap, and it's usually because they don't have the pure sine wave inverter, and this one has it. The thing with this one though, guys, it is heavy. It weighs 37 pounds. If weight is a problem, maybe this isn't the one for you, but for me, it is not, because I can just keep this on the tractor if I want to pull it around the yard and run a fan, or I can just set it on the floor in here for our lights. So size is not the problem, but with size brings more capacity. So I have the ability to leave this in the container. I can leave the doors open and that fan running, and we could run the fan for a couple days. So my plan is, I've come up with an idea to put lights in here, and we're gonna power it with this. The lights, I just bought these lights off of Amazon, and these are just these string lights that you can hang up out in your outdoors. I thought I could just string these from the ceiling and leave the plug ready to plug into this, and let there be light. For now, I just have this old box fan. I'll just plug this in and leave it running. It just gets some circulation in here. My thought, guys, is come wintertime, when these walls get dripping wet, you know, I want to have some air circulating in here. So I need an electric source. Well, the Vtoman 1000 is something that I've been looking for. It's going to have the capacity that I want to have, where it can run this fan for multiple days, not 24/7, until I need to take this back to my house and charge it up. Excuse me while I cool off. So my thought, guys, I picked up a lot of these cheap magnetic hooks. I'm just going to stick them on the ceiling and run the cable from these lights through these, and have the plug dangling down the side, where I can just plug it into the Vtoman. Come on in. So here we are. It's kind of like 7:30 in the evening, and it's getting dark. And it's dark in here. So my thought is I'm just going to run these hooks up here and try to get some light in this container. I was looking at lights, you know, there's all different kinds of things out there, but I always try to be practical. I always try to be frugal. And I just saw these string lights were cheap, so I just picked up a set off of Amazon. So I'm just saying, it's late in the evening, I'm still sweating, and it's hot. It's a little bit hotter in here than it is outside, but not that bad. All right, let's see if that's going to work. I don't know, guys, it's pretty dark in here. I am sweating. But let's go ahead, I'm just gonna hang these up. I can make final touches to these later. But the idea is to get these up off the ground, get some light shining in here. These are LEDs, so they use very little electricity compared to your old incandescent bulbs. So I'm thinking of keeping the Vtoman 1000 right in this area because it's out of the way of the tractor. I don't back the tractor in this far, so I would never accidentally drive over top of it. But I think it can sit right on the ground here, and we can plug in the lights and see how it goes. Let's get the Vtoman. Oh, so 37 pounds is heavy, but I don't think heavy is a problem for this situation. I think if you're using this in like a small car or a camper, maybe it'd be too big, I don't know. I'll set it on this ladder for the sake of filming so you guys can see it better. I got these bulbs, so these are LEDs. I got them strung through the ceiling. They're hanging off these magnetic hooks, just cheapos that you get at the dollar store. And I think this string of lights cost like under $20. But we got the Vtoman powered up. The inverter is on. This is going to just plug right in. And let's see what the lights look like, guys. Let there be light. Wow, I like it, huh? I like it a lot. It actually works. Proof of concept. This is really nice. You can't believe, guys, you know, after a long day and it's dark out, and then you want to come in here and get something and you can't see, and this just adds a really nice element to this container. It is inexpensive. The lights are safe because they're the LEDs. They don't put off any heat and they use minimal electricity. They're also plastic, so they're not going to break and shatter glass in here. But here we go, guys. The Vtoman Jump 1000. Huh? This thing is the real deal. And the price is right. And I know the top of the line Jackeries that you see, I don't know, I think their time might have come. Their prices are still super high. And this has the big things that you're looking for. A lithium iron phosphate battery and the pure sine wave inverter right here. These lights work just like Christmas lights, so I can string another set in here and run even more if I want to get more light, or run it all the way up to the front of the container. But for right now, it's just the darkness in the back is what I was trying to address. And minimal electricity, they're only using 16 watts. So I can go ahead and plug in my fan too, and just leave this running and get the air circulating in this container. Or have it blown on me because I'm sweating, man. So my lights and my fan, this is on its highest setting, are pulling 89 watts. And it's telling me that this will run for 11 hours. And you know, that's pretty good. Especially in the winter time when you are dealing with shorter days. I'm not going to be here for 11 hours. And these don't have to be running 24/7. What do you think of these hooks? They have a plastic backing on them. I'm just wondering though if these are going to leave a rust stain when the inside of these walls start sweating in the wintertime. These are painted nicely, but you know, if these are going to get rusty and leave a rust stain on the wall, I'll have to keep an eye on them. All right, guys, I'm digging it. It also feels different in here. It has like this warmth to it now. I like this. I wish I would have put these lights in here earlier. It just makes these containers more useful to have lights in here. But what I like too is the safety of the lithium iron phosphate battery in the Vtoman. When you see these batteries, you know, that catch on fire on airplanes and stuff, or in people's pockets with their cell phones, these batteries aren't like that. What's really slick about these is that they can be fully discharged and it doesn't hurt them. Like with a lead acid battery, you know, you can't do that, it'll damage the battery. These can have a full cycle, discharge and fully charged, and it's good for over 3,000 cycles. And these come with a really neat warranty, 2 years, right on the Amazon page, and you can check it out. I will put a link to the Vtoman Jump 1000 in the description. If you're interested in this, check it out. And I'm going to be using this daily, and I'll let you know how this thing goes. If I have any trouble with it, I'll let you know. All right, guys, this project is kind of done. I think I'm going to add even more lights and more hooks because I have the capacity. These lights are pretty cheap, and I'm going to put a lot more in here. I just like that there's light in here. It's a big deal. And I also like that I got my fan. I got a power station that can run it, and I could just let that fan blow and keep the air circulating in here and keep that condensation to a minimum. This container is a blank slate, and I know that there's a lot of things that I can do to it, and that's going to come down the road. But for right now, I got to get this wood yard up and running and get ready for the fall deliveries here while we're in the middle of summer. Finally, what this Vtoman Jump 1000 can do for me is when I do get my carport over top of the Yappa, I can do the same thing with these inexpensive lights and hooks, and I can have a power station out there to put lights underneath that allow me to work and process wood later in the evening. So that is it from the woodyard today, guys. Let me know what you think of the Vtoman Jump 1000. I know there's a lot of these things out there, but this has what I'm looking for: capacity, the right kind of battery, and the pure sine wave inverter. All right, guys, I hope everyone has a great day.